Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy, and we're in Bible study. We are in the NIV, and we will be through 2025. In this video, we are in Exodus chapter 32, and it is called the Golden Calf. So, let's jump in. When the people saw that Moses was so long in coming down from the mountain, they gathered around Aaron, the one who's to be God's high priest, and said, "Come, make us gods." And they don't mean that in the, Roman, and I'm not talking about Roman Catholics. I'm talking about ancient Rome. Because they had a belief system, like the Egyptians had a belief system, that one could become a god. Other cultures did too. I'm not trying to call out just one of those. Those are ones we're familiar with. They don't mean it like that. Not make us gods. No, they mean like the Egyptians, or a god, like out. Right? Make us gods who will go before us. Make us statues to worship. As for this fellow Moses who brought us up out of Egypt, we don't know what has happened to him. Aaron answered them, "Take off the gold earrings that your wives, your sons, and your daughters are wearing, and bring them to me." So all the people took off their earrings and brought them to Aaron. He took what they had handed him and made it into an idol cast into the shape of a calf, fashioning it with a tool. And they said, and then they said, "These are your gods. See, or this is your God." You have to imagine, "Oh Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt." Okay, see, my brain, it just. Because when you're looking at it like, if God is God the Father, right? And I had a pastor describe this for me, so I can't claim it my own way, but he gave it to me in this way that made so much sense. He said, imagine if you were this parent and you walked into your room and you found your kindergartner doing this with their stuffed animals. Because that must be what it looked like to God. When Aaron saw this, he built an altar in front of the calf and announced, "Tomorrow there will be a festival to the Lord." So the next day the people rose early and sacrificed burnt offerings and presented fellowship offerings, traditional peace offerings. Afterward they sat down to eat and drink, and then got up to indulge in revelry. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go down, because your people, whom you brought up out of Egypt, have become corrupt. They have been quick to turn away from what I commanded them and have made themselves an idol cast in the shape of a calf." That was a type of worship in Egypt. Just, for clarification of why a calf, right? Why that? That was a type of worship in Egypt. It was not uncommon. They have bowed down to it and sacrificed to it and have said, "These are your gods, O Israel, who brought you out of Egypt." "I have seen these people," the Lord said to Moses, "and they are stiff-necked people. Now leave me alone so that my anger may burn against them and that I may destroy them, and then I will make you into a great nation." So God's like, let me just kill them all off. And you could just have a bunch more kids. We can start over. You can be Abraham. But Moses sought the favor of the Lord, his God. "O Lord," he said, "why should your anger burn against your people who you have brought out of Egypt with great power and a mighty hand? Why should the Egyptians say, 'It was with evil intent that he brought them out, to kill them in the mountains and to wipe them off the face of the earth'? Turn from your fierce anger, relent and do not bring disaster on your people. Yeah, it's a good thing the great uncle was good. Remember your servants, Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, to whom you swore by your own self. I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky, and I will give your descendants all the land I promised them, and it will be their inheritance forever. Then the Lord relented and did not bring on his people the disaster he had threatened. Moses turned and went down the mountain with the 2 tablets of the testimony in his hands. They were inscribed on both sides. Okay, so, it would have to, so either there were 40 and, and we have some confusion, or it was 5 on each. No, it wouldn't even be 5 on each side. These must be very big carved letters. But it is also in Hebrew, which is a pictorial language and would need to be carved bigger if it was going to be read clearly. So, to be fair. The tablets were the work of God. The writing was the writing of God engraved on the tablets. When Joshua heard the noise of the people shouting, he said to Moses, "There is the sound of war in the camp." Moses replied, "It is not the sound. It is not the sound of victory. It is not the sound of defeat. It is the sound of singing that I hear." When Moses approached the camp and saw the calf and the dancing, his anger burned, and he threw the tablets out of his hands, breaking them to pieces at the foot of the mountain. And he took the calf they had made and burnt it in the fire, and then ground it to a powder and scattered it on the water and made the Israelites drink it. Wow. He said to Aaron, "What did these people do to you, that you led them into such great sin?" So he held his brother accountable for sure. "Do not be angry, my lord," Aaron answered. "You know how prone these people are to evil. They said to me, 'Make us gods who will go before us.' As for this fellow Moses who brought us up out of Egypt, we don't know what has happened to him. So I told them, 'Who has any gold jewelry? Take it off.' And then they gave me the gold, and I threw it into the fire, and out came this calf." Moses saw that the people were running wild, and Aaron let them out of control, so become a laughing stock to their enemies. It's like you've brought shame on the family, brother. So he stood at the entrance to the camp and said, "Whoever so is for the Lord, come to me." And all the Levites rallied to him. Okay, because that was his trap. And he's the prophet, even though Aaron would be the head of household. Then he said to them, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Each man strap a sword to his side. Go back and forth through the camp from one end to the other, each killing his brother and friend and neighbor." The Levites did as Moses commanded, and that day about 3,000 people died. Wow, that is so many. Then Moses said, "You have been set apart to the Lord today, for you were against your own sons and brothers, and he has blessed you on this day." He stood up for his virtues. The next day Moses said to the people, "You have committed a great sin, but now I will go up to the Lord. Perhaps I can make atonement for your sin." So Moses went back to the Lord, and he said, "Oh, what a great sin these people have committed. They have made themselves gods of gold. But now please forgive their sin. But if not, then blot me out of the book you have written." Then the Lord replied to Moses, "Whoever has sinned against me, I will blot out of the book. Now go lead the people to the place I spoke of, and my angel will go before you. However, when the time comes for me to punish, I will punish them for their sin." And the Lord struck the people with a plague because of what they did with the calf Aaron made. So the people who had to drink the gold had some ill effects going on. And God was like, don't you tell me how to mind my business, Moses. Now he loved Moses. He's the love vibration. But he's like, I understand. We're not going to kill everybody. We're not going to kill the many because of the sins of the few. Later, with Jesus, with the you reap what you sow. Still holds true. Until the next video, friends.